Welcome back to Saneauto. Thank you for viewing. Today we're going to be testing the block tester, which is made by Test Tools out of Seattle, Washington, USA. Did I say test enough? There's a couple of reasons for using this tool. Number one, it's used in cases where you're having a difficult time telling for sure whether it's a blown head gasket or not. There are other methods to test for a blown head gasket, and it's usually when the head gasket is in worse shape, or if you've got a warped head, something like that. If you're using a tool like this stamp pressure tester, they look like this. There's several different brands, but they all look pretty much like this. And wherever you put the coolant in, you connect up the stamp. It has a whole nother kit with it that has adapters like this so that you can pressurize the system. And when the system's pressurized, you'll be looking around to see if you find a leak, an external leak, or if it's an internal head gasket leak. There's some other methods we're not going to get into right now because we're going to get right to how to use this. Now here is a vehicle that's perfect for testing the block tester. This vehicle's been left overnight. There's no heat and there's no pressure, so there's no danger in taking the cap loose. Now it is a sealed system, so sometimes even sitting overnight, there will be some pressure in here. Now if it's a really bad head gasket and it's set overnight, there'll be no pressure in here. But if it's kind of questionable, that's perfect for the block tester. Because, hey doggy, because the block tester is just for these situations where you're not seeing a lot of coolant coming out of the exhaust. You've got a slow bit of coolant disappearing. You put the pressure tester on it and you can't find anything coming out. Oh, hear all that pressure? That would seem to indicate that there's no leak in the system, because this is not only sat overnight, but it's sat for half a day. But there's still coolant disappearing. Right now, this coolant it's about 4 inches low on the reservoir. Now, with this block tester, you have a testing device put right here. Mash it down and get a good seal. You've got a bulb for creating a vacuum. It has a little check ball in the top. And when you squeeze it, the air comes out. When you let go, the ball seats and it has to suck the air up through the bottom. So it'll create a vacuum if you put it there and hold it. But that's not going to do anything if you don't have the special test fluid in there. You only need enough of this to fill up to this line right here. Then you want to take this bulb and create a vacuum. See it pulling air up out of the system? Now if this stuff goes ahead and turns yellow while you're doing this, then you know you've got a blown head gasket. If it doesn't, then you're going to want to run the engine for a few minutes and get it warm enough to where the thermostat opens up and the fluid circulates. Now remember, I said this was about 4 inches low here. If yours is not low and you've got fluid all the way to the top, don't suck the fluid up into here. You'll want to take a turkey baster or something else and get some of your coolant out of there, because you're wanting to suck air up out of your radiator or your reservoir. If you have no pressure when you took the cap off and you can't get a vacuum on this, it just won't hold a vacuum, then you probably got a really bad leak, or the head gasket's a really bad leak. And it's probably going to turn yellow before you even run the engine. Now let's start the engine and let it run. Remember, that needs to run long enough to get hot enough to open the thermostat, and then run a couple minutes longer. If you're trying to test a hybrid like this and battery's full and the engine doesn't want to start up, you can hold the throttle at half or 3/4 throttle and it'll force the engine to run. So you can squeeze the bulb a couple of times, make some more air go through that testing fluid. And it does look like there is a difference. Let's take the instruction card, which is white, put it behind it. Take the test fluid, which looks blue or purple to me, and you see the difference? So it looks like we do have a head gasket problem with this vehicle, which makes sense because even after sitting overnight, it's still got pressure. There's no drips below the vehicle, yet we're losing fluid, probably about 1/4 gallon per tank full. So that fluid has to be going somewhere, that coolant has to be going somewhere. And it looks like it's going because of a bad head gasket. Look for a Prius head gasket video coming to Saneauto in the future. What if yours doesn't turn colors? And what if yours doesn't have pressure when you pull the cap off? Well, you're more likely to have a leak that you can find with a pressure tester like this. And if it's not a head gasket and you're still losing coolant, you're going to want to find that external leak and go ahead and fix it before you run it low and warp the head and create a head gasket problem. I put a link in the description to everything that I use. So just look there if you want to have one of these of your own. But some tool places will loan you one of these. Make sure you post your comments and questions down below so other people can learn from all our experiences. Or you can go to our Saneauto Facebook page and not only share your comments, but your pictures and your videos too. Till the next video, get off the couch and get dirty. Hey, if you like this video, we got a whole lot more. We got tool reviews, we've got repair videos, we've got show car videos, hot rods, mod rods, you name it. If it's got wheels on it and an engine, it's probably on this channel. So subscribe, like, and binge watch Saneauto. Binge watch Saneauto. Happy Halloween, all my hashtag insane friends. Happy Halloween. Let's see if I could touch it. Touch it. Dare me to touch it. Whoa. Whoa. I think I made it angry. Now if I just figure out a way to train it to live on the toolbox, I wouldn't have to worry about anybody borrowing tools, would I?